Good morning. Welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. Sheriff, today we're talking about really one of I think the stars of our technology within the Sheriff's Office. We're talking about the Real-Time Crime Center. When we talk about technology and the fight against crime, how important is it to merge those two together?
Oh, it's the most essential thing we can do, quite honestly. The fact that fighting crime now is not just having a deputy on the road answering the call and going back, and then an investigator comes out. We've got to dig into all the elements of the crime, what's going on in the community, what kind of technology are they using themselves in terms of committing the crimes. And so we've got to grow with the technology that's out there in the world, the social media that's out there. And so it's essential that we link the two together. The ability for us to leverage technology, train our deputies and our staff on what that technology is like, and then apply it in a way that assists us in getting those people who are involved in crime off our streets. And I'll tell you, the other piece of that is getting our communities engaged in using their technology as well. That's one of the major flaws that we have with our Real-Time Crime Center, is that we don't have enough citizens engaged loaning us or lending us access to their social media, access to their cameras at their homes. That kind of stuff is going to help us immensely once we get it rolling.
Right, and then so many people have those camera systems now. It really is an easy thing to merge together. When we talk about, leveraging that technology and looking at what we're doing with the Real-Time Crime Center, we've had the Real-Time Crime Center for a few years now. How do you feel about the progress we've made?
We've made significant progress, not exactly where I'd like to be right now. We aren't getting the buy-in I'd like to see on a global perspective with respect to our colleagues in law enforcement. We fought for so long to get it centralized, and I'm happy to say that at this point, with the assistance of Florida State University, their police department, and their criminology department, we've now moved it to the Slager building on FSU's campus, and hopefully we'll get that up and running here soon, where we'll have all of the law enforcement components, TPD, Lynn County Sheriff's Office, FSU, FAMU, all in the same building, utilizing the same technology to help drive down crime. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we're going to talk today about the different components of the Real-Time Crime Center and why that is so beneficial. Not only does this help, in the fight against crime, but there's an element of protecting our deputies involved in this as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the more information we can get out there delivered to our deputies as they're responding to a call. I mean, in the past, you were a deputy and you're responding, dispatcher told you, you're going to this location, here's the information about the house, but that's about it. And with the Real-Time Crime Center, we've got our analysts in there. They're digging deep into those locations, finding those nuggets, and then informing the deputy as he or she's responding and saying, hey, these are the issues going on, this is what the past has been, this is what these people have been involved in, and this is what you should look out for. That's immensely helpful.
Immensely helpful indeed, and we're going to talk more about that, so be sure to stick around. Leveraging technology in the fight against crime, more on the Real-Time Crime Center. But first, let's check in with Sergeant McMillan with our Crime Tip Tuesday.
Hello everyone, this is Sergeant Shade McMillan with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, and here's today's Crime Tip Tuesday. We carry around many keys for our home, vehicle, and other areas we want to keep secure. Here are some tips to keeping those out of the hands of thieves. Never leave a spare key concealed anywhere near the front door. That's the first place a burglar looks. Leave a key with a trusted friend or neighbor. Never give service people a house key. Arrange to have someone home. Never label house keys. If lost, they provide valuable information to a stranger. When using valet services, leave only the vehicle key with the attendant. It eliminates the opportunity to duplicate house keys. Stay safe.
Joining me now is LCSO Executive Director for Youth Services and the Real-Time Crime Center, Leslie Rayburn. Leslie, we're working on our third year of the Real-Time Crime Center. Talk about the progress we've made.
Well, considering 3 years ago we had just started our soft opening, and we were in a room with limited equipment and 2 analysts, and really just developing our processes and how this was really going to fit into the day-to-day operations of the Sheriff's Office.
We've come a long, long way. I tell you, I'm so proud of the work that you and your team have done. But there's still that element. I tried to get some of the businesses locally to engage with our Real-Time Crime Center. We've tried to get some of the private citizens to engage, give us their feeds from their various systems they've got at home. Talk about their concern about perhaps Big Brother is watching.
Well, there is a misconception with any technology and law enforcement that we can just tap into it. And, you know, if it's, say, a Ring camera, for example, that we have the ability just to come and tap in and watch their cameras anytime. And that's not the way this works. When any of the technology feeds that are given to us, it is a one way where they feed it to us, but we can't actually access it. So with that, you know, it kind of takes away that Big Brother aspect of it, but at the same time, it does give us the ability that, great example the other night, there was a burglar in the area, someone car shopping, woke the family up, they put it on Ring, uploaded it to us, we were able to get that out to patrol within minutes after it happened. And that's really key to this two-way is when you get the information, giving it to us so we can turn it around a lot quicker to our deputies.
Now talk about the businesses too. There's an opportunity, particularly high volume locations where crime is occurring. It would be helpful if we had those feeds from those businesses as well.
So right now we're working on a new part for a real-time crime center with our build out that would allow the businesses to tap into from their camera systems into our center where they could feed us videos. And that is part of this big build out we're doing with the new center that's coming on board. But that way we could, you know, instantly feed that important information to our deputies that are on scene. The best example would be if we had a bank robbery, we could get that feed in and we could get instant information out to them where, you know, today we have to wait on that information to be downloaded and then we have to get it to the deputies or the police officers on scene.
Yeah, Leslie, talk about that build out, the commitment we've got from FSU. How is that working and where are we in that stage?
We have this great partnership with Florida State University, not only the police department, but also the research component with the School of Criminology, Tallahassee Police Department, FAMU. So we are doing this new center. We are all going to be co-located together. So you're going to have Tallahassee Police Department, FSU PD, FAMU PD in there with LCSO, and we're going to have access to all of our databases and all of our sources. We're going to be in one room together, and that way we are literally working as a cohesive team.
That is fantastic. I am absolutely looking forward to that. What are the impacts you think we're going to receive from having all those units in the same spot?
Several things. First of all, you know, our officer and citizen safety is the key to a real-time crime center, but also just the amount of information we will have fed into that center. It's going to allow our response times to be quicker, get more information, but also at the end of the day, we're solving crimes a lot faster.
Now, Leslie, the biggest thing for us is getting those partnerships going. But talk about the types of crimes that we've already kind of solved with Real-Time Crime Center.
Bank robberies. We had a bank robbery last year, and before the suspect vehicle got back on I-10, we had already had the vehicle identified, started feeding that to our deputies and our police officers. They were able to use the technology to find that in another location in South Florida and coordinate efforts to get that person arrested. We have worked on numerous homicides. We had a homicide where the victim's vehicle was missing, and through our technology, something that would have probably taken days to locate, we found within minutes. So, and then you have your just regular day-to-day crimes, your burglaries, your car thefts. Just this year alone, we have recovered over 170 stolen vehicles in Leon County. So our recovery of property has actually increased with our technology.
Wow. Leslie, you and your team have been just fantastic. Thank you so much. Leslie Sayre shares with us up next some of our Real-Time Crime Center success stories. Stay tuned. We're back with Leslie Rayburn, who oversees our Real-Time Crime Center at the LCSO. Leslie, you've done an incredible job with our data and our technology. Can you share a couple of success stories about our Real-Time Crime Center?
We've had so many successes. When we started this center, we were so new. And the concept of, you know, implementing this middle person to facilitate data. In the beginning, it was simple things as, you know, identifying suspects with nicknames, but also being able to give them, you know, vehicle information from partial tags. And then as we've rolled out our technology, the analysts have become an asset in solving everything from, you know, minor property crimes, like I said earlier, all the way to homicides. We have also been able to work with our state and federal partners in helping them solve crimes. You know, just past couple of days, we've been helping with a couple of homicides and shootings, and we're able to develop a lot of information from our technology and our databases that turns into leads, and those leads turn into, interviews, and those interviews turn into more information. So we take a lot of pieces of puzzles and we help build that entire picture. I spoke earlier about the bank robbery. I mean, that was the perfect world scenario because it was the first major case that one of our sister agencies asked for assistance on, and we had already identified not only the vehicle, but then we started identifying the suspect's history. We were able to show them coming to and from Leon County. We were able to lay all of that out before we ever even got the person into custody. We have worked on several shootings, identifying suspects, witnesses, but as you mentioned earlier, utilizing, the social media. Today we were working on going through social media to help solve a shooting from this morning, looking at, public websites, because people will upload videos, and from those videos we'll see vehicles, or, we'll get information from that. And we take all that and put it into a package and give it to the detectives.
That's amazing. I am just tickled to hear all these great things we're doing. But talk about, just for a minute, how many staff we have in the Real-Time Crime Center, because I want to give them a shout out because they do a tremendously great job.
Well, so currently we have 4 full-time analysts and 2 part-time positions. And our analysts, they work the same rotation as patrol shift. A lot of people, when they think of analysts, they think it's just a desk job, 8 to 5, Monday
Right,
through Friday.
right.
Our center is 23 hours a day. So they are there with their patrol shift. They're 12 hours. They work the same rotations. They're holidays, weekends. So, they're just a non-traditional position compared to a lot of our other, support staff. And they do a great job. I can tell you the analysts that we have, they love it. Some of our analysts have, the former law enforcement. They've come back to become analysts. We've had some that have a communications background, but each of them brings such a unique skill set, and it just fills out the whole team. Well,
I'm excited about the great work you and your team do. I think at one point I was giving you more accolades in our staff meetings than anybody else. But, that's what we've done in the past. That's the past 3 years. We've done all that good work. What do the next 3 look like?
The next 3 years, we're definitely going to finish that build out and move into our new center really in 2022. That's our goal. Obviously, COVID had some impacts on and delaying, us being able to do the construction. But really, I see the center growing. I see it become more of a regional asset. My goal for the center is that we are that just center of everything, that no matter what the agency is, especially with our smaller counties, is that we're getting that information. And like we've talked about before, criminals don't know jurisdictional boundaries, and to be able to cross into those other boundaries and help them actually helps us solve crime.
Talk a minute about, because it's so important, the Fusion Center aspect of our Real-Time Crime Center. Most people don't know what that's about. In about a minute, tell us what's that about.
Think of the Fusion Center as someone that can look at everything from a regional perspective, where we look at everything from a local level. The regional level is going to come in and look at everything across those 13 counties and pull it together. So looking at those bigger trends, traveling groups, but also, copper thefts when it was big, that's where they come in. Any of those other organized crime rings, that's where the Fusion Center is going to come into play.
Absolutely. And we have to have our citizens engaged. In about 15 seconds, how can our citizens help?
If you've got camera feeds and you want to share it, we'd love to have them, but also as our business partners, as we reach out in the future, we'd love to have, them participate in some of our future programs.
Thank you, Leslie. Coming up in our Deputy on Duty, we're going along for a ride in one of our LCSO new electric vehicles. More on the pilot program. Stay tuned.
It's important for us to take the opportunity that we have with these vehicles now and educate the drivers on the value of the electric vehicle, and we're going to do that with a lot of ride and drives, and hopefully we'll be able to take you on a quick ride and drive today. Once you get the vehicle where you want it to be for safe driving, you can go through all of the other features that are on the screen. Display brightness is set for auto, and this is part of autonomous vehicles that people have gotten used to. There's automatic climate control, there's different driving assistance that's available. One of the things that's neat, and you get a lot of questions about autopilot, you have to sign that you agree to Tesla's conditions and terms about using autopilot. And the most misunderstood thing is, Tesla expects you to keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times. I'm stepping on the accelerator pedal right now, and we're taking off, and you can see there's not a lot of noise. It's a very quiet vehicle. And my foot is off the accelerator, and the vehicle has come to a stop, and I haven't touched the brake pedal. If you look at the screen that's on display right now, you can see that it's picking up the lanes and the stop signs. It's showing us our range, and our navigation is displayed, our music. We don't have an instrument cluster. Everything's over here, where the center of most drivers' attention has been for the last 20 years in a vehicle anyway. You can see the targeting of the vehicle ahead in the lane. You can see that it's picking up the speed limit. And it has a feature called Traffic Aware Cruise Control. See that gray steering wheel? I can hit this down twice, and this is what the autonomous driving looks like. You can see that the lane is defined, and the vehicle is making adjustments. And one of the things that is misunderstood, we're on a fairly straight road, but if the car were wandering and you're not giving input with your hands, it will actually come up and tell you, just like it is right now, apply slight turning. If you don't apply pressure to the steering wheel, it'll disable the autonomous features. You can see we've got our gray steering wheel and our cruise again, and we can set it, and there's a traffic light with a vehicle, and that vehicle's stopping, and this vehicle's stopping. That vehicle's taking off, and this vehicle's taking off. And you can see that I'm just hovering on the pedal. It's the driver's responsibility to maintain control of the vehicle. Everybody sent a kid to a school that was built based off of data from 5-6 years ago, and by the time the school opens, there's already portables in the parking lot because the school's too small. We don't want to make that same mistake with fleet. So we're doing our due diligence now so that we'll be better prepared as the market changes. And it's changing far faster than anybody ever imagined. Our hair turns gray, we want to go get it dyed. Our nails get brittle as we age, we go get manicures and pedicures. People make cosmetic changes to their body. All of that is because of change and resistance to change. So the same thing happens in driving a vehicle. You just have to kind of, take a step back, 10,000 foot view, not what's better for me as an individual, and what's better for everybody around me. And that's part of what has to, what each driver has to recognize is that change is our responsibility, and it starts with how hard we accelerate, how hard we brake, how much we speed. And this vehicle's technology allows you to take that out of our hands and make safer vehicles, more fuel efficient vehicles, and better performing fleet.
Welcome back to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. Sheriff, this show has been all about technology today. We talked about our fleet department and how we're really expanding with these electric vehicles. Not many law enforcement agencies have really walked into these waters.
Well, obviously, we will have to. I mean, we've got autonomous vehicles that are on the roadway that are driving themselves, and we've had a couple of crashes, I understand, across the country, and obviously we didn't have an understanding of how we're going to respond to those. But more than that, we ourselves may have to utilize these vehicles with gas issues as they are starting to trend. And so we need to get ahead of it, figure out what's going on so we can be in a place where we can hopefully save our citizens some cash when it starts talking about budget issues. So
Right.
we're doing those experiments to see exactly how these things work. so that if, in fact, we do have to do this at some point in the future, we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, that forward thinking is so very crucial in being a successful agency. And then talking about the Real-Time Crime Center and all the progress over the last 3 years. But as you mentioned, our citizens can really play a vital role in this.
Oh, it's absolutely important. Citizens out there, we need your feedback, not only in terms of your home systems, your ring doors, or whatever those things are called. We need all your information as it relates to your social media that helps us fight crime. We talk about being all in, and the only way we can truly be all in is every citizen engaged every day trying to help your local law enforcement.
Very important. And so we'll be sharing more details with the public as we roll more of this out. But the Real-Time Crime Center definitely making an impact. So thank you, Sheriff, so much.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
And thank our folks in our Real-Time Crime Center. They're all in.
They are all in indeed. And we thank you for being all in as well. We'll see you back here next week.